Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'm your host, the experience that some call Jason, and with me today, as usual, is...
The Todd Father.
CDL 113.
And the token speculation, Tarky.
And today we're going to be continuing our series on where Marvel can go with some of their characters post-Endgame. Today we're going to be talking about Black Panther, though admittedly with him it's less post-Endgame and more post the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman. Been a lot of, I guess we'll put it politely, we'll say a lot of strong opinions online as to what they should do. Danny, we'll start off with you. What is your take on where you think they should go with Black Panther, or where they could go, or where you think they're likely to go?
Well, I will say this first. Todd hit the nail on the head. I don't know if it was on a podcast we did or just in us conversationally. Whoever is the first person to play the role after Boseman is going to catch all kinds of hell. But they're going to have to recast him. And it's going to be tough because people are going to, look at whoever comes after and goes, okay, we're going to want this kind of performance. We want you to look like this in the action scenes. We want you to be believable. And I can only think of a few actors, that might be able to pull that off and not catch as much hell, but it's going to be rough trying to, cast the right actor for the role. I've seen a lot of people online going, oh, let's just let Shuri be the Black Panther. No, that don't work.
What's that?
The actress playing her, or that character, period, I don't see them being able to pull that off. As big a phenomenon as the Black Panther movie was, you need somebody with chops that could make you believe I'm the sister of this person and I am as much a badass or more so than they are. And I'm sorry, she's so tiny and she don't strike me as even a warrior. Just to look at the actress.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to like the lady that played Okoye, thank you.
Yeah. Denai Guerrero.
Yeah, I was talking with my wife about it, and I said, if they'd got the one that plays Michonne, and said, okay, she's going to be the new Black Panther, would be more believable to me as a watcher because she was kicking 7 different kinds of hell at the bad guys without the heart-shaped herb. I mean, she was just a badass by herself. And, I mean, let's face it, if you want somebody that can carry, an action role, she did. Give her a heart-shaped herb, oh my God, she would scare the living crap out of a lot of folks. But the little sister, no. She, stay in her lane. You make the nice tech toys, the new suits, the gadgets.
She could potentially use the toys. Use the tech. But she would be the Tony Stark, not the Steve Rogers.
Right. You want to have her as, the teammate running around doing that stuff, fine. But she is not Black Panther material as far as carrying a movie or a book.
Mm-hmm. Well, part of that too, though, when you really get down to it, is T'Challa is the Black Panther, just like Steve Rogers is Captain America. You can slap the suit on somebody else, but that doesn't mean fans are going to accept it. It doesn't mean it's going to work.
Right.
They'll do that in the book for a year or so at a time, but every time they do it, it's temporary.
Yeah. And, if they try and make this permanent, it'll ruin that part of the film franchise. Because that just don't work.
Yeah, I don't think it'll take.
I mean, if
You
they
hate women.
No, I don't. If they want to,
I'm going to tell your wife. Hey, yeah.
She's his wife. She knows.
If they want to say for part of the second movie that hey, she's carrying she's the acting Black Panther because T'Challa's off doing political stuff, that's one thing.
They won't do it halfway. They'll do it all or none.
Yeah. And I just don't think that having Shuri step in as the Black Panther is the way to go. Recast, go on like, nothing happened as far as, the viewer is concerned. You want to give a nod out.
Do it like they did Rhodey.
You do it exactly like they did Rhodey and the Hulk.
Yeah, and for me, I would put a picture up on the wall somewhere or a billboard where it shows Boseman and Stan Lee together.
Dedication at the end. Dedication at the end, man.
What did you say?
Put a dedication at the end. You do not want a visual representation of the previous guy in the new guy's first movie. You don't want to remind people, oh yeah, it's a different guy. I mean, they're going to know, but as they get into the movie, you don't want to be constantly reminding them of that.
That's true.
What was it you told me, Todd, about the second Abrams Star Trek? That you were liking, something about you were liking Khan, all right.
We were watching Into Darkness. I was all right with it until you saw original Spock. That scene where Leonard Nimoy shows up and starts talking about Khan. Because then that reminded me, oh yeah, Cumberbatch is supposed to be playing Ricardo Montalban. Yeah, this movie ain't shit.
Yeah.
I was not in love with the movie up until that point, but when they did that, when you had OG Spock show up and go, oh yeah, Khan Noonien Singh was this, that, and other, mentally, it just went, oh yeah.
It popped that kind of suspension of disbelief thing.
Yeah, I'm done.
Because in that one specifically, Khan should not have been changed at all.
Well,
the time frame for it didn't work out right, correct?
What happened was they didn't get the original actor. Benicio del Toro was supposed to play that role, and he dropped out for some reason. They got Benedict Cumberbatch. And if you had Benicio del Toro playing Khan, I think it would have clicked for me a little bit.
Because they favor more.
Yeah. I could believe, okay, that's supposed to be, all right, I got you. But
it's kind of like if you watch Solo and you see what's his face playing young Lando.
When you see
Donald Glover?
I call him Childish Gambino, but
yeah.
That was what was popping in my head.
Yeah, when you saw Donald Glover playing young Lando, you could look at Donald and go, yeah, I see that. I can see he was a whole hell of a lot better Lando than Aiden was Han Solo.
Yeah.
I didn't think Aiden did too bad, but
I sat there that whole time basically going, this motherfucker don't look like Han Solo at all. Truthfully, Adam Driver looked more, you can catch Adam Driver at certain angles, and he looked more like Harrison Ford at that age than the dude they got playing Han Solo. I have often looked at Kylo and went, yeah, I can see that being his kid. This cat that they got playing young Solo, I looked at him and was like, I don't know where the fuck they got him from. That just don't work at all.
At least the new guy they got playing Chewie worked. What does it need to be? Tall.
The new Vader was on point too. God, you look just like him.
Mm-hmm. So, Todd, what do you think they're likely to do, or what should they do?
Did you ask me?
Yes. That's why I said Todd.
What are they likely to do? They're likely to replace T'Challa with Shuri because that's something that they were talking about doing before Chadwick ever died. I think that's the thing, because I wasn't big on it then. The fact that they use his death now to do something as the excuse to do something that they were talking about doing anyway, as if it's some kind of way, memorializing him, alionizing him some way, I think is like complete and utter scum.
Yeah, like Superman Returns when they all but carted out Christopher Reeve's body to advertise the...
Right. But in this, it was, because anybody that knows me, I walked out the first Black Panther going, ain't no way in hell they ain't fucking up the sequel to this one. because it sent the wrong message. And sure enough, yeah, like I said, late last year, I was starting to hear the rumbles kind of heavy. And I want to say it was Nate Moore up at the first of this year, pre beer virus. He was talking about, well, the Black Panther's a mammal, so it could be anybody. And it was like, oh, shit. Because you were starting to get articles out going that Chadwick wasn't happy about that. And it was like, well, hell, who would? Because that was the thing, was Black Panther 2 was the last movie in Chadwick's contract. He had contracted to do 5. So you'd had Civil War, the 2 Avengers movies, the first Black Panther 2 was going to be the last one. So it was either going to be renegotiate his contract, which, he'd have got a hell of a lot more money next time, considering his movie, was the top solo movie they've got in the MCU.
Hell, it gave the money to Disney to make, what, 6 or 8 movies?
Yeah, something.
The budget,
It was one that they wasn't expecting it to do that, and it ended up being, as far as a solo movie, that's their solo superhero movie, that's their biggest one. It's literally the biggest solo superhero movie, period.
Yeah.
But they were already rumbling, well, you can have Shuri, and, so you had rumbles that T'Challa was either going to get messed up or something like that, because me and our buddy Travis were already like, they do that, I'm done. And I'm like that now. If they replace T'Challa, because the trick is, bless his heart, Chadwick Boseman has passed. There ain't a damn thing wrong with T'Challa. Nothing.
Yeah.
So you have all these, well, T'Challa, there is nothing wrong with T'Challa. Chadwick has passed away. You don't kill the character because the actor passed away.
Yeah, if you go in and retroactively change the story of like, oh no, Black Panther died, and then you're abusing the death of an actor for story reasons, which is fucked up and weird to me.
And story-wise, you spit on that character because then he becomes the black guy that got killed off screen. He gets turned into Nighthawk. One of the complaints that they had with that David Walker version of Nighthawk was they killed him in Secret Empire, but they killed him off panel. So it's like, oh, you just show up in the book, oh yeah, he got killed as a normal civilian by Hydra. And you like, the fuck? Well, damn. So you gonna kill off T'Challa off screen and shoehorn Shuri in there on some kind of girl power. Now you can have it. Because it would be it's so easy for me to kind of go to hell with all of it now, because Endgame kind of felt like the end of it. Yeah, I watched these for 11 years. They got to the end of it. It's over. I'm on to the next something. You could convince me to come back and watch more of this if it looks like it's worth something, but, you start playing games with the one motherfucker that I'd been waiting for most of them 10 years, yeah, I'm out. And like I've said online, you lose many folks like me, and you gonna notice it, because I saw that first one 15 times, and we ain't talking about all the t-shirts I own,
all any merchandise,
all the action figures, the 2 sets of Kamoyo beads I got, the hats. Yeah, I bought a lot of Black Panther shit, because it was something that hell I've been waiting on so damn long.
Yeah.
So if you figure you just go shoehorn, well, we're just gonna nix this character, we're gonna stick his sister in there, and you can find somebody else to spend all that money, because I'm out.
Yeah. If they do that, they won't make the what it costs to make the movie.
Well, it ends up it'll make what it costs, but it'll go into what they thought that first one was gonna do. It'll go into Doctor Strange money. Because it won't. The event thing will be over.
Yeah.
It will still probably have a huge opening just for being the second one.
Let it be Shuri, and let it be known that I'm betting you ain't gonna have no huge opening, because you're gonna have a hell of a lot of folks that go to hell with it, and that's something. Because I'm doing a lot of talking online, and a lot of, well, I put it like this: one criticism I have of Disney, like when we're talking about Star Wars, is that Disney knows that things make money, but they don't seem to have someone that understands why things make money. They don't realize that there's a culture, there's a reason.
They don't understand fandom.
Yeah, they don't understand fandom at all. And Black Panther was what it was is because he was unique. Yes, you had other black heroes exist. That was not the thing that made it unique. He was the first one that I hesitate to say clean, but he was the first clean one. In that he wasn't somebody's buddy. You know, he ran his own shit. He was not a sociopath. Because as much as I love Blade, Blade was crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Blade 2, that's actually what I liked about it, was the fact that he's Blade still fit the black male trope. Kind of sexless, kind of dronish, kind of violent, kind of thief, you know.
Yeah.
He's more anti-hero. He ain't the guy. He's got a mean streak to him, kind of.
In the movie versions, especially though, to some degree, the comic, he's not a superhero. He's a monster hunter.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But the point is, if you go and I want a hero, Panther is the closest that we have to Superman. He's the closest that you have to Superman because he's international. He runs his own shit. He's moral. He's not a sociopath. He's not a thief. You know, he's not veering into the anti-hero kind of thing. He's not suffering, which is always nice.
He holds an iconic role for his people.
Yeah. So so that was what had people going, ooh, this is new. Because, you know, even when it was out, you had people go, oh, but you've had, you know, now the idiots that come up, well, you had Blank Man. Dude, anybody takes Blank Man serious, you are just right fucking casual across your forehead. Yep. Nobody looked at Blank Man as a fucking superhero.
I'll say this, when Black Panther hit big, I was at a doctor's office to get an allergy shot, and I had on a superhero shirt. I don't remember which one. But this little kid come in with his mom to get a shot, and he had on a Black Panther t-shirt. And I made the comment, I like your shirt. And he looked at my shirt, oh, I like your shirt too. And he goes, have you seen the movie? And I said, yeah. And he started talking, I'd say this kid was maybe 11 to 13 years old. And he was so excited about the Black Panther movie. And his mom goes, yeah, she said, his dad and I went and saw it first to make sure it was going to be okay for him to go. And his dad walked out of the theater going, I'm taking my son to this as many times as he wants to go. And she said, he's up to 9 times now. And she said, it was the most positive black superhero I've ever seen in my life. And she said, it's not that I've read the books, but my husband, is into that stuff. And, this is something my husband and my son geek out over. And she said, I never thought I would see the day that my husband was so excited and my son equally excited. And I said, yeah, I've got several friends that, black friends that have fallen into that category of, oh my God, a positive, superhero role model. And, it wasn't even close to Halloween time. And she said, yeah, him and my husband both have already said that's who they're going trick-or-treating as. The dad was going as T'Chaka. The son was going as T'Challa.
Like I've said before, in my life, out of 48 years, Black Panther is the only movie that I've ever seen my father go to the theater for more than once. I don't give a damn if it was Star Wars, and it's Star Wars, The Godfather, that is the only movie that my father, in my life, has ever gone to a theater and paid to see more than once. Because when he went that second time, I was like, the hell? He was like, yeah, I won't go do this. And then when his birthday rolled around that year, and I was like, well, what do you want to do? I want to go see Black Panther. And I was like, what the hell did you do with my father?
Yeah.
And he walked out of it. He walked out of that third one because that was what was funny is when I told Travis that hell him and Mark showed up and went. I want to say they went hell all damn 3 times that he went. And Dad walking out of that was like, I could stay in that movie forever. It's just relaxing. It's I could just live in that damn. And it's part of what you see in there. Yeah, if you read things about it, they'll go, well, it's got positive representation for women. Yeah, it does. It has positive female representation in there. But the thing is, it's got positive male representation in there. And if you're dealing with the people that most of the time we see ourselves, it's some kind of, we are either a criminal or a victim. Whether that's entertainment or the fucking news. To see something where you're actually the hero, you eat it up.
Yeah.
So when you start going, well, we gonna take the one thing that you have and get rid of it, that's gonna have a bad reaction. Yeah. You ain't gonna have the kind of, well, I'm buying, I'm trying to buy out theaters for schools to go see this. I'm not going to see it 15 times. I'm not having some big gala. You may hold that stuff, but don't expect it to do like that last one. That's one of those kind of things where you have to understand why something made the money that it made.
Yeah.
Oh, and you have no faith that Disney is going to have that understanding.
Disney has not shown that it knows that about things of its own culture. There ain't no way in hell Disney knows jack shit about mine. They didn't expect that first one to do that.
True.
Yeah, that's, I sat there and watched that movie, and if Travis was here, he could flat out tell you, because as I was walking out, I was like, ain't no way in hell the second one will be like this one. The first one was like it was because Disney looked at it as a black thing. So they underestimated it. It was something that was like, yeah, we gonna do it, but it's a black thing. So they wasn't looking at it like they were looking at, say, Iron Man, or another Iron Man flick, or a Cap flick, or Thor, or even a Thor flick, even though, hell, the Thor movies, the first 2 of them didn't do worse shit. But, they didn't go into that one going, it's this, we got something here. They went into that one because if you look at the early projections for it, they were looking at it to do Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
They figured it was going to be about like Doctor Strange. The guy that I mentioned, Travis, thinks that like I'm a movie whiz because when he was like, oh, they projecting it to do about like Doctor Strange, and I'd be like, they playing it weak. And then when you had the advanced tickets, they changed the outlook for it and had it making $1 million more than Homecoming. They were like, see, that's it's may make $1 million more than Homecoming. I was like, they still playing that damn movie weak because this is something that people have been bitching about for 5 or 6 years now. There's a hunger for it. Hell, the damn Age of Ultron trailers views went off the damn charts because I was online when it came on there and people realized who Andy Serkis was. Why the hell are they focusing on him? And I remember going, shit, that's Claw. Holy shit, it's Claw. Boom.
Yeah.
And if it's Claw, that's Panther's arch villain. Panther's coming.
Yeah. Well, I can remember online talking with a friend of mine that I used to work with at the tire plant, and his son was big into the movies. And when his son, like Todd, just made the comment about, "Ooh, that's Claw, Dad, Black Panther's coming," and he's like, "Who?" And so he said his son goes and gets a bunch of comic books and trade paperbacks and says, "Here, read this, Dad." He said he had carried his kid to see the movies, but as soon as he read that, it was like, wait a minute, this is Black Panther? Oh yeah, we go and see this. And he was deacon in his church, and he was talking to the pastor about it coming out when it finally got around to coming out, and his pastor was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so excited." And he said, "Why don't we, buy so many tickets for the youth group and carry them?" And he said, at their church at that time, they had like 100 youth between a certain age, and they went and they bought up 100 tickets. All the kids come home carrying on about this movie, you had them go to the, basically the deacons went, all right, we'll just rent out a theater or we'll buy so many tickets. Their whole church went, and they lives up in Tennessee. And he said by the time they got it done, they had a whole theater and a half that they bought out just the church for one showing. And it was like, he said, I've never experienced anything like that. He said, we had, an 80-year-old woman that went in the theater, and she come out bawling. She said, I have never seen a movie portray a black character or a group of black characters so positively. She said, I am so glad that these children are blessed to have seen this in their lifetime.
Well, let me change gears here before we keep gushing on the movie too much. Before I change gears, Taylor, you got anything to add to this?
Yes, because we're talking about Black Panther, the movie, and not just as a character. What's even the story going to be? Like, what characters, what villains do they have left?
And that's kind of what I was about to segue us into.
Because, like, I know Mephisto can be used, especially now that there's no real rights challenges left.
I would pay to see the Devil's Pants.
Yes, yeah. I just want to see the Devil's Pants.
But, like, who else is there that's movie material?
Fantastic Four.
That's not a villain.
No, but in their first, they go to Wakanda, and Black Panther beats the, pants off of them all by himself.
That was my hope for introducing the Fantastic Four. Mine is, like I said, it kind of throws shit up in the air when you start going, well, hell, you don't know who in the hell gonna be Panther, because the rumors were Submariner there for a while. I don't jury taking out Submariner at all. No.
I wouldn't mind seeing him go up against Submariner. I wouldn't mind seeing him go up against Doctor Doom. But both of those characters need to be introduced and developed somewhere else for probably a couple of movies before you start dealing with, Panther having beef with them.
I don't know, because, one of the rumors before all this started was, that scene in Endgame where they talk about the undersea earthquakes? You have, and you have Widow ask Okoye, well, did you do anything? And she was like, no, there are earthquakes in the ocean. There ain't nothing to be done. There's been a lot of talk that was their first little Atlantis Easter egg. Because if you go back and look at Iron Man 2, where you see Wakanda on the map, Atlantis is really just right outside there. Yeah.
You know what I'm really expecting them to do with Namor? Is I'm expecting them to go kind of Ultimates with him. Yeah, I'm not expecting to get, there's been this underground civilization all this time, or underwater civilization all this time. I expect him to be alone, something that was imprisoned and gotten loose. Especially since in the main book they've given him the water manipulation powers.
Yeah, but the trick is you could always have, if he was something that was dormant down there, you had an undersea earthquake, now he's out.
Oh yeah. Then that would still, the earthquake thing would still tie into it.
But I'm just telling you, that was one of the people that they kind of threw out as far as like some kind of supervillain. Truthfully, if they went if you went a little more mystical with it, I wouldn't mind seeing Akabi.
Yeah.
I thought Akabi was good and fucked up. Yeah, he's got.
See, I got into Priest's run after he popped up.
Yeah. See, Akabi was good, screwed up. I liked his origin. Basically sold his soul to the devil because his wife had cheated on him. So he not only killed the wife and her lover, he killed everybody that had ever had any contact with his wife. Because the first time you see him is this guy running through the desert, and Akabi is chasing him with a butcher knife, and that guy had just sold his wife a pair of shoes. He went so off that he wasn't just trying to erase her. He was literally trying to erase anything she had touched.
Anybody that might have had a memory of her.
Yep. So he was one that, if you wanted to go kind of horrific.
If you wanted to give Panther a Joker-like villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like the fact that he always called him Kitty Cat.
Yeah. He never gave him any respect.
No, he didn't respect him at all. Barring that, Panther's one of those heroes that, if we ever do a thing on black heroes, I'll talk about one of the tropes that they tend to give them shitty rogue gallery. And they ate up all of Panther's, kind of named folks in the first movie.
Yeah. The only ones that I can think of is it's a country that's right in the books, supposedly right above or right next to Wakanda.
Naganda?
Yeah, Naganda. And yeah, it's kind of like what South Africa used to be, but on steroids, and throw in some Nazism on top of it. Yeah, they've got a group of 4 or 5 super soldiers that, yeah, they are as racist as can be, and it's like, okay, I'd like to see him fight them just to beat their ass.
But like I said,
you're now reminding me of a joke where I was like, Black Panther 2, you want to go fuck up the Klan?
That would work too, because he's done that.
Yeah, that's part of the joke.
But I don't know. It's like I said, that's one of those that, truthfully, I wouldn't. It kind of hurts it in that he doesn't have a decent rogue gallery of his own, and the MCU has not gone out of their way to establish supervillains. So, it for a while there they had hinted that, but it's since been disproven. For a while there, they were going, with the Sony contract with Marvel. Anytime they do a MCU Spider-Man movie, they have to have an MCU hero in it. That's why Tony Stark was so much in the first one. That's why Nick Fury was so much in this last one. And for a while there, they were going, the third Spider-Man movie may have been Kraven the Hunter, which would have had Black Panther involved. Because if you had Kraven get a hold of some of the heart-shaped herb, it kind of coalesces a couple of origins. Because you remember, Kraven is jacked up because he's taking some kind of jungle potion.
Yeah.
So that could have been interesting. And Ryan Coogler was wanting to use Kraven in the first Black Panther movie. They just didn't let him. So, having Kraven pop up in Wakanda could be interesting.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of it all kind of depends on what tone did you want. Do you want something more like Priest Run where it's political? You could easily do a political thriller type stuff with Panther because he's the ruler of a country.
Yeah.
Something that the look and feel would be a little more like Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Which is, I still think, one of the better Marvel movies. Winter
Soldier is like I said, up until they did Black Panther, hell, Winter Soldier was my go-to. Civil War just bumped it for me because one is the first time I saw Black Panther, so I was really, really waiting for that one.
Mm-hmm.
And the airport scene, because that was really the first time you saw 2 groups of superpowered people fight each other.
Yeah.
So that airport scene for me is always a big deal because it's like, ooh, that's it's giving me a taste of kind of what the hell. That's just a flaw of the MCU that they haven't established supervillains at all.
So you'd have a hard time doing like that first. I think was it the first storyline they did with crap, I don't know his name, Pudlin, on his run. I mean, you did they did the one where they flashed back, but then they did the one where you had a knockoff Radioactive Man, a knockoff Black Knight.
Yep. Yeah, but you'd have a hard time doing that one just because hell they haven't established.
Yeah, they haven't established that there are villains.
it's pretty much been the Avengers fighting terrorists.
Yeah.
You know?
And they tend to, for some reason, MCU's been killing off the villains. You know?
Yeah, when you do have them, hell, they
Yeah,
take
Zemo's
them
about
out.
the only survivor you had. I don't really expect him to make it out of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Probably not. But you know, it's off the subject, and I'll jump right back. That's the one hope that I kind of have for Doctor Strange in his sequel, and I'm hoping that when you get a multiverse going, that maybe you'll get some, you know. It's almost to the point now with Chadwick being gone and the way Endgame wrapped up and stuff like that. Doctor Strange, for the universe to continue to be interesting for me, Doctor Strange and that multiverse of madness needs to really be kind of a soft reboot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which, if they're dealing with a crazy Scarlet Witch, which her TV series looks like is implying, that might be what they're going to do.
Yeah, which is what they need, because, like I said, if you're talking about doing Secret Wars and all that kind of stuff, I was talking to a guy this morning. The MCU right now for me is fucked up, because even with them going, oh, we're gonna introduce Kang the Conqueror. Well, I don't care about Kang now that your Avengers team is trash. I don't care about the Mandarin now that Iron Man's dead. You should have done that back in 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To do the Mandarin now, oh, but he'll be fighting Shang-Chi. He ought to last all of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And to go, well, we're going to put Kang and Ant-Man and the Wasp. They both ought to last about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Or you end up with, like you ended up with Nerf Thanos. You nerf the hell out of him, but who the hell wants to watch that?
Then what's the point? Yeah.
So,
well,
that's...
Before we wrap this up, I have no idea who they could get to replace Chadwick. As far as specific actors, any of y'all have any ideas?
I can give you one that I like, and then I can give you one that would probably catch the least hell.
Okay.
I take that lie back. I could actually give you 3. One would catch some hell. One I like. One that would catch the least hell. The one that would catch some hell that would be decent is Yahya. I forget what his last name is, but it's the guy that played Black Manta in Aquaman, and he played Dr. Manhattan in the HBO Watchmen series.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's in the Candyman reboot maintenance coming. That dude could pull it off. He got the chops for it, but he might catch some hell, but he might not. Women like him, stuff like that. So he might not catch a hell of a lot of it. My pick was the guy that I wanted before I heard that Chadwick was getting it, and that's Aldous Hodge, the guy that played Hardison on Leverage.
Okay.
He does a convincing African accent. The dude actually runs parkour and stuff like that, so he's in shape. He's got the shape to do it. The dude is literally a damn genius. He is a watchmaker and architect in real life.
He acts as a hobby.
Yeah, he's that in real life. They made him. They put him on the board of some watchmakers guild here just a few months ago.
He's
the dude is brilliant.
He's kind of like Lundgren. How acting is just a hobby for him. Yeah,
acting's his job, but the dude in real life is fucking brilliant. He's got the chops to play the role. And the one that I think that would catch the least amount of hell is John David Washington, Denzel's son.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, my brain immediately went to Boyega when you said John. I went, I don't think he's gonna do it.
No, I wouldn't go Boyega ain't right for the job.
No. I've got 2. One that would probably catch a little hell is the black guy from the Black Klansman.
Yes, John David Washington.
Oh, okay.
That's Denzel's kid.
Okay. I didn't know his name.
Yeah.
All I was seeing was the big afro.
Yeah,
but
that's
the
Denzel's kid.
Okay.
He's the guy that's intended.
Yeah, that's right. He is.
Yeah.
And then the other choice, he's got the physicality for it. And he does a lot of his own stunts in the TV show. Is the black guy from SWAT? He was the black guy that was also in the Huntress TV show years ago.
Oh, you ain't talking about oh shit, the guy that he was on the Young and the Restless. You ain't talking about Shamar Moore, are you?
Yeah.
He too light. You put Shamar Moore in there, you gonna have all hell working. Because this is media. What the hell is this biracial dude? Because Marvel, that's another show, but Marvel got a problem with that kind of shit anyway. They'll lighten your ass up with the quick. Hey, this chick is completely black. Why the hell you keep getting biracial people to play? Because that's a big complaint with Storm. You ain't had nobody that wasn't biracial play Storm yet. Storm's mama's African and her daddy's African American. There ain't no biracial there at all.
No. I was just going for him by
Shamar old.
Yeah, that's true. He is a lot older.
You're just saying he had the physicality for it, though, for that part of it.
Yeah. Based on, like where he's on SWAT, how he's probably the most physically fit, guy that I could think of on the show, other than Lou Ferrigno Jr. And Lou Ferrigno Jr. sure as hell couldn't play Black Panther. But he could play the adopted brother.
Hunter?
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll ever get Hunter since they turned Bucky into the White Wolf.
Yeah, that's true.
Taylor, you got any actor suggestions?
I feel like you're bullying me now.
I just don't want you to feel left out, that's all.
As a continuing story of, I don't know the names of actors. I only really know most of the actors from Marvel because they all start with Chris.
Danny didn't know any names. He just kind of poked around at what they did until Todd came up with the names.
I don't watch movies.
Yeah, I don't watch much.
Watch
like I said, I started this segment out going, I got no idea.
So
you can end the segment going, I got no idea. It's fine. It's fair.
Black Panther from Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Was that Phil Lamar?
No, that's James Mathis.
Okay.
James Mathis III. He is pretty much to Black Panther what old dude that does Wolverine now in every damn thing, and Fred Tatasciore that does Hulk in every damn thing. Yeah, James Mathis pretty much does Black Panther in everything. He's Earth's Mightiest Heroes Black Panther. He's Avengers Assemble Black Panther. If you get the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 game, he's Black Panther. He's just Black Panther.
Well, in those last couple of Avengers games, that's basically what they did for the Red Skull. When they recast him, they just went out and grabbed the voice actor.
Yeah. It is hell. Oh, Hugo, you don't want to do it? Oh, hell, like.
And no one really noticed.
I noticed.
That makes me want to go off topic in the centralization of voice acting, but that's not a topic for here.
Maybe some other time.
Well, we always have a hard time coming up with subjects. Just write it down somewhere.
Mm-hmm. But, so I guess where we're at here, we spent a lot more time talking about what to do, theorizing on what to do, assuming they recast T'Challa. If they try to put Shuri or Casper Cole, or if they try to make it some other character, I think it's going to be a disaster, and I really have no suggestions for what they're going to do.
You don't speculate on what happens with a dumpster fire. You know it burns down.
Yeah, that was kind of the reason why I didn't go into the Shuri thing, because if they do it, it's going to do exactly what the books do when you replace T'Challa with somebody else. They fail. Yeah, if Disney actually, which I don't believe they do, but if Disney actually used the comic books as kind of a forecast of what the movies will do, Shuri can't hold a book. You put Shuri in as Black Panther, the Black Panther book fails. When you put Casper Cole in there as Black Panther, the book fails. Fails. Nobody wants to read that shit.
Hey, they still did the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel, and how many Captain Marvel books has she killed?
Well, that's true. But because they made the character unlikable. But she is, at least when you go, well, you know, Captain Marvel or Ms. Marvel or whatever, that's still her. So it's not like you got a usurper in there.
That's true. It's a little different when you replace a character with another character in the first one that has been dead in the books for 30 years, you know.
Yeah,
that's a little bit different.
It's one thing when nobody in the generation really knows who in the hell it is. You can kind of get by with it like that, but it's just like, you will never, and I've used this in the Shuri thing when they go, oh, well, it's from the books. Yeah. John Paul Valley was Batman in the books. You ain't never gonna have a Batman movie where John Paul Valley is Batman.
Or if you do, it's gonna be the one, it's gonna be like he's the villain kind of thing, as Bruce has to take it back.
Well, hell, in the Gotham show, you had John Paul Valley pop up, and he never became Batman. He was only Azrael.
Yeah. Some of that shit just.
All right, let's not get too far off into Batman stuff. Let's wrap up this Black Panther.
Okay.
So anyway, we're gonna wrap here. That's some of our ideas and suggestions of who they could get to play the character, given the loss of Boseman, and our ideas on story wise what they could do. If y'all have any ideas, you can leave a comment on the page, on Facebook. You can get us at thenerdattornal@gmail.com. What is it? We're on Twitter.
I don't hate women.
You hate women.
I do not hate women.
All right, now y'all threw me off my train of thought. Anyway, like, share, subscribe if you liked us and feel like sharing us. And I guess we'll see you next week. Again, I was your host, the experienced some called Jason, and with me has been
the Todd Father,
CDL 113,
the token Danny hates women, Tarky.
And he agrees too.
We'll see you next time.
It's a conspiracy.